In a major surprise, many media outlets have revealed that the U.S. president will allow Ukrainian forces to use American long-range missiles to target the Russian heartland. The U.S. president will indeed allow Ukrainian forces to strike deep into Russia. This would be a very dangerous decision because simply it could lead to a world war. Just so you know, since this article came out in the New York Times yesterday, many analysts and YouTubers have been saying, "Oh, this is a trivial matter. It won't change anything in the battle." But in reality, this news could lead to World War III. Why do I say this? Why do I say it's not a trivial matter? But to explain all these details, I need to tell you the story from the beginning. But before we start, please be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously when covering the war in YouTube algorithm. And let's go. Let's get straight to the point. What we have today might be new to you and something you're hearing for the first time regarding strikes on the Russian heartland. The truth is, this is an extremely serious matter for me. Why? Because there's a story behind it, and I'll start from the very beginning. You need to understand that ever since Donald Trump won the election, the entire world has been talking about how the war between Russia and Ukraine is about to end. I've already told you that Putin and Trump had agreed on everything related to ending the Russia-Ukraine war even before Trump won the election. The mediator in this was Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, who was constantly traveling back and forth between Putin and Trump. Viktor Orban was also the first Prime Minister in the world to congratulate Trump on his election victory. So, the whole world was expecting the war to end soon. But keep in mind that Trump hasn't even entered the White House yet. Remember, Trump will take office on January 20th. Where are we now? We haven't even reached November 20th yet. This shows that there's still a long way to go, especially since in America right now, there are essentially two presidents. The president-elect, Donald Trump, who everyone is treating as the incoming leader, and the current acting president, Joe Biden. And don't forget about Joe Biden. This is a very important point. But you should also know that Trump's victory in the election has already triggered a series of events. First, Zelensky has been resisting, in every possible way, the humiliation he expects to face from Donald Trump. Zelensky has started changing his behavior and statements toward Trump. He has even begun saying things like, "I'm not going to sit and negotiate. Who is Donald Trump to call me to the negotiation table? I will never come to negotiate." In fact, he made this statement to a Ukrainian news channel. And who heard him? It was Elon Musk. Based on this, you need to know that even European leaders themselves have started preparing to talk to Putin. For instance, take German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who spoke with Putin after 2 years of zero communication. Scholz hadn't spoken to Putin since the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war, but he called him recently. It was actually a very productive call. A French newspaper even reported that Emmanuel Macron is now ready to talk to Putin again, after previously cutting ties with him entirely. According to the Wall Street Journal, European officials were preparing themselves to establish peace with Putin, as they saw the situation as already decided. With Donald Trump's election victory, it's clear where things are heading. The Ukrainian army is visibly collapsing on the streets of Ukraine, and it's evident that Ukraine will soon be forced to sit at the negotiation table. But there was a major shock to the world yesterday. What happened? Russia launched one of its largest attacks on Ukrainian power stations just before the winter season. Keep in mind, we're entering winter now, with December being the peak of it in Ukraine. Before winter set in, the Russian military fired 120 missiles, 90 drones, and even bomber aircraft at Ukraine, targeting power stations. Of course, Ukraine claimed they intercepted 144 airborne targets, but honestly, that's nonsense. It's impossible for even the best air defense systems in the world to intercept that many targets out of 220. I don't believe it at all. And to prove that Ukraine's claims are baseless, you need to know that Ukraine used F-16 fighter jets. Do you think F-16s could take down all of these missiles and drones? I don't think so. Ukraine simply doesn't have sufficient air defense systems. They are facing a severe shortage. On the other hand, many power stations across Ukraine were severely hit, to the extent that Ukraine started cutting electricity in some areas. This is precisely what Russia intended. And to give you an idea of the scale of the attack, the Netherlands was reportedly on military alert, preparing for any potential Russian missile breaches into its airspace because of how massive the assault was. Think about it. 120 missiles and 90 drones. That's an enormous number. It's a devastating blow. What happened next? The White House didn't issue an official response. The Pentagon also remained silent. But the New York Times published an article claiming that the U.S. president and his administration are considering allowing Ukraine to use long-range ATACMS missiles to strike deep into Russia. When this news came out, several things happened. First, Zelensky made a bold statement during a televised interview, saying, "Some people will talk and say that we needed specific permission, but we won't talk much. The missiles will do the talking." What does this mean? Zelensky essentially admitted that Ukraine is ready to strike the Russian heartland with U.S.-supplied long-range missiles. However, Zelensky is asking for more, not just a few missiles, but a substantial supply. Bloomberg also commented on it, confirming that the decision hasn't officially been made yet. And that's the story so far. The potential use of long-range missiles by Ukraine could change the dynamics of this conflict dramatically. But here's the big question for you. Do you think allowing Ukraine to strike deep into Russian territory will bring an end to the war? Or could it escalate into something much bigger, even a global conflict? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth analysis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.